So, what are we talking about today? Come on, we all know who we're talking about. It's U.S. men's national team manager Jurgen Klinsmann, who totally redeemed himself after beating the same team he lost to 4 days earlier, Guatemala, 4-0, which significantly bolsters the U.S. chances of qualifying for the Hex, which for the uninitiated is the final 6 teams in the region battling it out for 3 automatic berths to the World Cup in Russia. What worked for us in this game? Herr Klinsmann made 5 changes from the starting lineup from the 2-0 loss we suffered on Friday to Guatemala, but maybe more importantly, he smartly, or maybe it was he reluctantly, made 8 different position changes to make sure everyone was playing in their best position, and guess what? Guess what happened? We immediately looked like a better team because it seemed as though everyone on the field wearing the red, white, and blue was like, you know what? This feels good. This feels fun. This feels right because I'm playing in a position that I normally play in. Imagine that. Playing guys in the spots that they love to play in. I didn't even graduate college, and that makes total sense to me. And if I had graduated college, I probably wouldn't be making videos in a funny hat right now. What worked for us? Part 2, Guatemala, the 95th ranked nation in the world, thankfully played like the 95th ranked nation in the world. And we were playing in front of our great fans in the friendly confines of Columbus, Ohio, where we never lose, and we were up for it. So it's hard to say exactly how good we were, but it felt good to watch as a fan. So it's definitely something to build on, and it makes me happy for the guys, and it makes me happy for the staff, and it makes me happy for Jurgen too, because I want to make sure this is crystal clear for everyone. I want Jurgen to succeed. If he does well, then everyone wins, and then I can stop making these videos. Unfortunately, he's not doing well at everything because as U.S. Soccer's technical director, Jurgen Klinsmann, yes, it's the same guy who's the national team coach, he does both roles, which is crazy, right? Because it makes him only accountable to himself because U.S. Soccer can't really interfere at this point because they're paying him too much to fire him now and eat his guaranteed contract and then have to pay someone else on top of that to do both jobs too. So in short, I need to get Jurgen's agent's contact info because he's the real genius behind all of this. Anyway, as U.S. Soccer's technical director, Jurgen is technically in charge of all of our national teams on the men's side, which is a title he's held officially since 2013, but if we're being honest, he's held that title unofficially since he took over in 2011 because when he first took the job, he promised vertical integration, which is, for me, corporate coach speak for all of our national teams from the youth to the full team playing the exact same way. And in that time, the full team suffered their worst finish ever in the Gold Cup last summer. The U23s have missed back-to-back Olympics for the first time in 50 years after getting knocked out by Colombia last night in Dallas. The U20s didn't win one group game in the 2013 U20 World Cup. Our U17s missed the U17 World Cup for the first time ever in 2013. And when they did qualify in 2015, they didn't win a single group game and got knocked out. And am I being too hard on him about this stuff? Am I coming in too hot? Is this fair? Do I need a hug? Does he need a hug? Do we just need to hug it out? I know he's not the one that's there every day doing the actual coaching with our youth teams, but he picks the guys that do that. And he has to be the guy in charge of everything. In fact, he even wanted that title written into his new contract so he could have unilateral control over the whole program. So for me, when these unacceptable results happen, and these results are unacceptable, he needs to take unilateral responsibility. That's how this shit works. We pay him a lot of money to make it better. He's not making it better, so it's time to find someone or a few someones that will. Now, I appreciate Jurgen challenging the established norms in this country and broadening our player pool. I've got no problem with that. And for his desire of wanting the players to push for more and to get outside of their comfort zones, which will of course make them better. But if we truly want to be one of the top countries in the world in this sport, then our coaches need to be held to the same standard that he's asking of the players. And that starts with accountability, which sadly seems to be a disappearing trait in our leaders these days. So Jurgen, please raise your hand. Take ownership of your mistakes and learn from it, like you did with all of your lineup changes, whether you wanted to acknowledge that or not, because we know you're not perfect. We know you're a human being. So once you stop with the superiority complex and maybe display some humility and admit that you, the great infallible Jurgen Klinsmann, makes some mistakes sometimes, and you have to do this without throwing anyone else under the bus but yourself, then we're all gonna have your back here, including your players who are ready to lay everything on the line for you once you're ready to lay everything on the line for them. And once that happens, then the progress you promised will start to slowly be made. And man, I don't even know if that made sense, but that's what I'm going with. I'll see you tomorrow.